The Fronx is a subcompact crossover that's produced by the Japanese manufacturer, Suzuki, through its Indian subsidiary Maruti Suzuki since 2023. It is based on the Baleno hatchback and positioned below the Brezza. The Fronx has been exported from India since July 2023. Planned export markets include the Middle East, Latin America, Africa, and Australia. In December 2023, Maruti Suzuki Crash tested the Fronx, but those results are not yet available to the general public. The Fronx has not been rated by any of the new car assessment programs, NCAPs, so there are no crash test results available for it yet. However, the Baleno hatchback, which is the platform on which the Fronx is based, has been rated. In October 2021, Latin NCAP tested the base model Baleno, which had 2 airbags and no ESC. It received a 0-star rating, which is in stark contrast with EuroNCAP's 2016 test, where the Baleno received an overall 3 stars for the basic version and 4 stars for the version with the safety pack. As we know by now, vehicles from third world countries generally fare worse in crash tests than their European counterparts. In the absence of specific crash test results for the Fronx, we would assume that it would receive a rating similar to the Latin NCAP Baleno, given that the Fronx is based on the Baleno platform. Indeed, in Africa, the GL has front airbags for the driver and passenger and 3-point ELR seatbelts with pretensioners and force limiters. The GLX gets dual side and curtain airbags. All models get ESP, which is mandatory in Europe, and hill hold assist. Let's take a closer look at the Baleno's 2021 Latin NCAP crash test results and then the Baleno's 2016 EuroNCAP results. For adult occupants in a frontal impact crash, the driver and one passenger's knees showed marginal protection as they can impact with dangerous structures behind the fascia. In the side impact, chest protection was rated as poor and resulted in 0 points for this test. Side pole impact was not performed as side head protection is not offered as standard. Whiplash showed poor protection. The child seat for the 3-year-old child was installed rearward, facing using ISOFIX anchorages and support leg, and was capable of preventing excessive forward movement of the head. Frontal and side impact protection was good. The Q1.5 was installed rearward, facing using ISOFIX connectors and a support leg, while it offered good protection for the frontal and side impact protection. As the manufacturer declined to recommend CRSs for the test, the dynamic score was 0. The 2016 EuroNCAP tested Baleno recorded poor results for child dummies in the rear seats. In the frontal impact, the dummy readings revealed high values of neck tensile forces in the 10-year dummy and marginal protection of the neck and chest of the 6-year dummy. The 2016 Baleno sold in Europe was fitted with side curtain airbags as standard. Despite this, in the lateral impact, there was insufficient pressure in the side curtain airbag to prevent the head of the 10-year dummy striking the interior of the car around the C-pillar. This contact led to very high decelerations and protection was rated as poor. Dummy readings of chest deceleration also indicated poor protection of that part of the body. In the frontal full-width crash, the rear passenger dummy readings of chest compression indicated marginal protection. In the side barrier test, dummy numbers showed good protection, but the score for the head was penalized as the side curtain airbag was deemed not to have deployed in the correct manner. In the more severe side pole impact, dummy readings of lateral rib compression indicated weak chest protection, and the head protection was downgraded to adequate as a result of the incorrect airbag deployment. As the Fronx has not been crash test rated by an NCAP from a third world country, And as it shares the same platform as the Baleno, we use the crash test results of the Baleno as a rough guide. Furthermore, out of an abundance of caution, we would assume that all the worst crash ratings from NCAPs around the world apply even if they are from crash tests undertaken by first world countries. So, based on the 2021 Latin NCAP crash test results for the Baleno, we would consider the Fronx to be a 0-star rated vehicle. And that should be the end of whether you would consider buying one. However, if you still want to buy it, here are the worst impacts you are likely to experience in a crash. Marginal protection for the knees of the driver and passenger. Poor protection from a side impact crash. Red rhymes with whiplash protection is rated as poor, so that's a nice lifelong injury assuming you survive the crash. The 2016 EuroNCAP crash test results for child occupants in the frontal impact showed poor protection for the neck of the 10-year dummy and marginal protection for the chest and neck of the 6-year dummy. In the lateral impact, the results for the 10-year dummy are even worse, with poor scores for the head and chest, and that's in a test car with curtain airbags. I don't think it likes children. But the adult in the rear seat also scored marginal protection in the full frontal crash, so perhaps it just doesn't like rear passengers. Chest protection for the driver was rated as weak, despite the side and curtain airbags. So, I would wait until there's an official regional NCAP crash test rating, and if those results are acceptable to me, then I would consider buying a Fronx. Buying a Fronx in the absence of such a crash test rating is probably best left to Evel Knievel.